Hey guys, so today I'm going to be making a video assessing my plants for root rot. Which, if you don't know what root rot is, it's when you overwater your plants and the roots die. They pretty much... they pretty much just disintegrate and turn into just rot, just black mushy rot, and then it affects the rest of the plant and the rest of the plant starts dying. Hey, he's eating my plants. This is Booger, by the way. I'm gonna put you down there. So we're gonna be checking for root rot, and the way that I assess this is feeling the leaves of my plant and checking the leaves, because a lot of plants, if the plant has root rot, the leaves will be flimsy, they might even be wet, squishy, depending on the plant. So I'm gonna go through different types of plants and show you what they look like healthy, and then if they have root rot, I'll show you how I see that they have root rot, and then what I do to try to save them. So here we go. So the first plant that I'm going to be assessing is this Philodendron Brazil. I've had this one for a while, and I have propagated it in order to make it more full. It's still pretty bald at the top, as you can see, but there's this separate strand, this one, and this really long one. And then this one, which I had in water, it's pretty long. It starts up here and it goes all the way down here. Oh wait, okay, yeah, this one. So as you can see, these leaves are pretty wrinkly. When I touch it, it just sort of feels like paper. Or like wet paper. They're super thin and they just look super flat, all of them along this vine. And if you feel them, there's just like no weight to them. They're just super flimsy and flat. But if I go to a different vine like this one, it's nice and luscious, it's shiny, which is another thing. See, these ones, there's not really any sheen to them. They're just bleh. This one is super shiny, feels good, feels plump, and not necessarily plump, it just feels thick. It feels like how the leaf felt, you know, when I first got it. But these ones are definitely flimsy and thin. So we might need to take out this one strand and put it back in water because the roots might be rotting. So I'm just going to be moving on to checking the other plants, and I'll be showing that. And then at the end, we will go through the process of taking out the dead stuff, checking the roots for the root rot, and then most likely putting the plants that have dying roots in water to water propagate them, because that is the best method that I've found for most of these plants that have root rot, to bring them back to life and promote root growth. So this next plant is my string of hearts, which is a super popular plant. I love it, but I just cannot keep it alive for some reason. There's only one string on here that is actually growing really well, and it's this one. It's actually flowering down here. And you can just tell the leaves look good. I mean, they look like hearts. And at the top, if you feel them, they are stiff and like chunky. They just feel succulent. This is like kind of a type of succulent. So if I feel them, they're stiff, they look chunky. This one over here as well feels really good. This one over here too It still feels kind of thin, but I did just water this, so they have plenty of water. Now, I'm gonna look at the ones that look like they're not really doing well. Oh yeah. So the fact that this, let me get a better hold on it. The fact that this just came out without me even really touching it is a sign of root rot. So, and as you can see, the leaves, you can see that they're all wrinkly and flat. These don't even look like hearts. I don't even know what that is. But yeah, the roots just look really bad. So we're definitely gonna have to put that in water. Yeah, the leaves are just flat and wrinkly and gross. And it just literally just popped out without me even pulling on it. So that's definitely a sign of root rot. So I'm just gonna, yeah. So again, I just pulled this out, and I mean, there's a little bit of roots, but the fact that I could pull it out like that is not good. The roots are not very established. And again, some of the leaves are dying, which is very unfortunate. I thought this one was healthy, and it did it. So it looks like we might have to redo this whole thing. Awesome. Great. Very, very sad about that, my string of hearts, because I've literally put them back in water so many times to propagate them and put them back in soil, and it's just, they just keep dying, and I don't know what to do. So I might end up just keeping them in water forever, because that's the only way they look good. Yeah, let's get on to the next plant. So here is my heart leaf or teardrop peperomia pilea. They look like little hearts. It's like the pilea peperomioides, but that one just has circular leaves. This one, they're in kind of a heart teardrop shape, which looks really good. But this one, you can see that it's curling, which is also a sign of either root rot or underwatering, because it's curling at the bottom, and it does feel a little flimsy. It's all like, it's not stiff. They should feel, like these two feel stiff and rubbery, still a little flimsy, and then the one growing in is kind of flat. So this one might need either watering or the roots might be rotting. So we're gonna also check that one out. So this next plant is my Peperomia Hope, and you can probably see what's happening here if you look at these leaves over here. They're super wrinkly and like bendable. Typically this plant, the leaves aren't gonna be bendable if it's healthy. Again, these ones feel super thin. These ones are curling. I don't know what all that white stuff is. Might be a type of fungus. Not entirely sure. Yeah. I mean, this side looks okay, but it's still super flat, and I'm used to this plant being very sturdy and thick and succulent. I mean, especially this side. I mean, this is not healthy growth. They should be the texture should be super flat, like these ones over here, and smooth, and these are just super wrinkled. So it could be dry or it could be root rot. So yeah, we're gonna check on that one too. So I've got 4 plants, and I think that's what we're gonna stick with for now, because I don't want this video to be super long and boring and so I think we have a good variety. We have the string of hearts, the Peperomia Hope, the Philodendron Brazil, and the Peperomia Pilea teardrop, raindrop, heart shape. So I'm gonna be taking a close look at the roots and showing you guys what they look like, and then I'm gonna assess whether they need just a good watering or if they need to be re-rooted in water, whatever. He just stepped on all of my string of hearts that I pulled out. Bugger, you're so bad. Oh my god. Yeah. Me too. Okay, so yeah. Let's get started. So as you guys saw, we took out most of my string of hearts. And so I'm gonna show you the roots now. I don't even know what's happening. So this one, it's very bulbous, and this that's coming out of it doesn't even feel like a root. It kind of feels like a stem, which is really weird. So we are just gonna be gonna put that one to the side for now and move on to the next one. Again, the roots feel super weird. Whoa. It feels like a stem right there. It's very hard. It doesn't really feel flimsy like a root, so I might just end up pulling that off. Again, it's kind of the same thing with the rest of these. It's not even focusing. Whatever. I couldn't be bothered, truly. And I mean, this one looks pretty good, but again, the roots are just... doesn't want to focus. The roots are just not doing it for me. So, we are going to grab water and some little jars to water propagate this string of hearts. So a lot of you probably have been told to not use sink water or tap water for your propagations, and I don't really have any solid advice for you because I do use sink water for my propagations. I know that there are a lot of other methods, including putting like a growth hormone in the water or using liquid dirt, but I just use straight up sink water and pop them in there, which now that I think about it is probably why none of them are surviving, like I said before, but we're just gonna keep on chugging, doing what I do, because that is the only method that I know right now. So yeah, so I am going to grab, I already took off some of the dead parts on this one, but what I'm also gonna do is take off these two leaves at the bottom, because now, can you tell I don't do this? Because now there's gonna be two nodes where roots have potential to grow from. And so submerging those two nodes in water is going to help the roots grow faster rather than just one node, because the node on the bottom kind of looks a little funky. So then I'm gonna just stick it in here like so, have the two nodes submerged, and I'm either gonna plop it on a place that gets really bright light, or I'm gonna put it under my grow light, and I'll show you that later. So, you know, I'm gonna put two of them in that one jar. This one, I think that this bulbous area is blocking nutrients, but I'm not really sure. So again, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off the bottom leaves. So then this is what I'm left with, which I'm not entirely certain what is happening there. So I am just going to plop this in water and see what it does. I might have to end up taking that big thing off, but that's what that looks like. All right, so we got another one of those weird moments going on right here. Again, I'm gonna take off the bottom. Okay, well, that was great. So now I have this and this. So, I love being a plant mom. So again, okay, so I have this. I'm gonna take off the bottom two leaves, which is more like 3. So then I have 2 nodes right there. That are gonna go in the water. And I'm gonna fill these more so they're, so the water covers up all of the propagations, but yeah, I'm just gonna stick it in there. And then this, I don't even know what I'm gonna do with this. I feel like I can get roots on here. So I'm gonna take off these leaves and just I might stick this thing totally in water. I've seen people submerge string of hearts cuttings in water all the way in like these little weird keychain things. So we're just gonna see what happens with that. I don't know. After this video, I'm gonna have to do some research because I don't know why all of my string of hearts are ending up with this thing. I don't even know what it is, to be honest. And what I have going on here is literally 4 strings coming from this one thing. And I think that this, again, is stopping the growth. So I might just remove them from here and just put the 3, I said 4, but I think it's 3 cuttings in water. Yeah, so there's 3 coming off this one tiny stem, which is probably why they're not growing really well, because they have one stem supporting all of them. I'm gonna remove these 3 from here and take off the top leaves so they have nodes, because they can't propagate roots unless they have nodes. So just remember that you need to have nodes submerged in the water. So that's what I'm probably gonna end up doing. I'll do that off screen just because I've already showed you a lot. Yeah. Here are all of the string of hearts that I put in water. So this one I actually need to put more water in so they're fully submerged, but yeah, make sure the nodes are under the water so that they can get all the nutrients from the water and hopefully grow roots. Now for string of hearts, I've had a lot of different outcomes when it comes to water propagating. It usually takes maybe like 2 weeks to a month at most to get roots, but for these ones I think I'm gonna wait till the roots are really established. So I'm thinking like 3 to 4 inches long to try to put them back in soil again. For any plant really, you should wait until the roots are 2 inches to 3 inches long before you put them in soil. I know people do it sooner, but I just feel more comfortable waiting until they're longer so that they have a better chance of adapting to the soil and staying alive. On to our next plant, I just have this plexiglass on top of the soil down there, and then I'm going to remove it from this pot, remove all the soil, and check the roots. All right, so sorry about this light. I have my grow light on and it's a purple light. I'm looking to get a white one because the purple one is not good on my eyes. Anyways, we are going to unpot this. So what I have here is the peperomia teardrop, and we are going to remove it from the soil so we can check the roots. So what I like to do is just take a spoon around the edges and loosen it up from the pot. I have it sitting over my tub of soil so I don't make a mess. And then I'm just going to wiggle it out, and I'm gonna try to gently remove some of the soil. These roots are pretty fine, so it's hard to tell if there's root rot because I can't really remove all the soil because it's pretty, the roots really hang on to it because they're so fine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go like this to the bottom and try to separate some of the soil from the roots so that they're not as wet. The soil is really wet. So that is pretty much all I can do right now. I think it was a matter of watering, so I'm gonna repot it in new soil, new drier soil, and then see what happens. Give it just a little bit of water, and then yeah, hopefully that was the issue with this one. I don't know about other plant moms, but I love to use my hands and get dirty while I do this. So I added a little soil in the bottom and then plopped it in, and now I'm just gonna fill the top with soil. I make my own soil, well, not make it, but I have my own soil mix, which is cactus soil, orchid bark, and perlite. I've noticed that it really helps with the aeration of the soil so that they don't get root rot. And I don't pack it very tight. I just feel for any empty spaces and then fill the top up. I know this is probably really messy and not satisfying to watch, but yeah, I remove some of the excess, and then we're just going to give it a little bit of water. Okay, so I know this wasn't like really in order, but the next two plants I kind of just did off screen because they're a little easier. So the philodendron Brazil, I took it out of the soil and the root, there was like 2 tiny little roots, so I just took it all out. I took some of the leaves off so that there's a few nodes for roots to grow off of, and I am just going to be sticking it in water. Next, we're going to look at the peperomia, which I've already taken out of its soil. And as you can see, this is the root system that we have going on. Not great. Even for this one that, you know, was still looking pretty succulent, the roots. So yeah, it looks like I overwatered this and it got root rot. So if your plants do end up getting root rot, just know that it happens. You're not a bad plant mom. You're not dumb. Don't let it discourage you. It happens to everyone. I haven't met one person who hasn't had a plant with root rot. So, and it's super easy to bring them back. So we are actually just gonna stick these in the same water as the philodendron. Just making sure, again, the roots are submerged. And I did take off the bottom leaves from these ones because they were like super dead and gross. So yeah, we're just gonna have everything in there. I'm gonna put it in a place with pretty good sunlight and wait for it to grow. And then I will make an update video with all of these plants, showing how I put them back into soil, which is another process because since they are prone to root rot, we want to make sure they have the best chance to thrive long term and not die again. So I have to make part 2. Yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. I know I was gonna show you my grow light situation, but I think I'm gonna save that for another video just because there's a lot to explain and I have a lot of plants in it and I want to be able to give attention to that by itself. So that's gonna be it. Thank you guys for watching. If you watched all the way through, it would mean a lot if you subscribed, liked. I'll link my socials down below. I have a Depop where I'm selling some of my plants in order for my collection not to become a chore on me, because it's never good if a hobby becomes a chore. Especially with houseplants, you want them to be something that makes you happy and you enjoy taking care of them. So I am selling some of my plants and cuttings. I will be putting more on there, so if you want to check it out or at least follow it, it would mean a lot. The support is always appreciated, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.